At this time, say, I saw him like, I saw Pastor Chris like here, like you were just close to me. Like this time, not on TV, not on screen. Pastor Chris was just maybe less than a meter away from me. I was here and Pastor Chris was here. And a funny thing happened. Then the lady lied to the securities that she wants to go to the toilet. She lied, she said she wants to go to the toilet, she's pressed. She was in a wheelchair. So when she lied, she said she wants to go to the toilet, then the securities didn't allow people inside. So the lady, okay, they allowed her inside. We were watching on the screen. Guess what? While the lady, we felt like she's in the toilet, we heard Pastor Chris calling the lady. Mama, come. She was not using a wheelchair anymore. So
welcome back to the video, and I'm here with Pastor Chris. I mean Pastor Bray. So every time like I talk about Pastor Chris, I always confuse you. Did Pastor Chris did anything in your life in particular?
Pastor Chris, let me tell you something. Pastor Chris is a general. Pastor Chris, he has impacted everybody's life in the Christian faith. Like, if you say you don't know Pastor Chris, you can't say you don't know Pastor Chris being a Christian. If you say you don't know Pastor Chris, basically you are not a Christian. So Pastor Chris did really impact my life. He did really impact many people's lives in the Christian faith.
Okay, so we are not alone. We are with our brother here. Do you have any question in regards to Pastor Chris?
I wanted to ask Pastor Boy because everyone is talking about Pastor Chris. So I just want to know that if he made an impact in his life.
Or in my life.
Yeah, in your life.
Okay. So Pastor Chris, listen, I knew him also by TV, TBN. I once saw him, he was not frequently on TBN, but I once saw his video on TBN when I was young, and he was praying for somebody on the wheelchair. And I remember when I was very young, but he just placed his feet on the legs of that person, like as if like he was kicking the person. Then the person stood up. So before I knew Pastor Chris, I was following Pastor Bain, So remember when I was young, I was like, I found somebody who's now more powerful than Pastor Bain. I was like, Pastor Bain, I know you just declares, this one kicks and the person stands up. I'm like, this one is a general. He's more powerful than Pastor Bain. So basically in those days, I felt like you compare people's levels by the miracles,
Okay.
Yeah, so he did impact my life from that very young age. I used to watch his miracles. I used to watch them a lot. And to the extent that when we grew up, then I was introduced to the rhapsody of reality. That's when now I knew him more, like reading the rhapsody of reality.
Okay, so the question that I have is, in your ministry, when you talk about ministry in particular, what are some of the things that you took from Pastor Chris to your own ministry? You applied them to your life, couple, those things. Yeah,
so basically the things that I can say I took from Pastor Chris or I learned and applied in my life, there are a lot. Like time might not permit us, but let me just say number one, the teaching ministry of Pastor Chris. Like you cannot know Pastor Chris and not know his teachings. Pastor Chris made me to understand that it's very more important to teach people than to focus on miracles. Pastor Chris does miracles, he does healings, but he understands the power of teaching. So number one is the teaching ministry of Pastor Chris that I've applied. Me, I'm somebody who also likes to teach because of the ministry of Pastor Chris. And the second one is the healing ministry of Pastor Chris. Like you cannot talk about Pastor Chris and not talk about him healing people, praying for the sick. Like also the healing ministry. I'm also working in the healing ministry because of the influence that I got from Pastor Chris.
Okay, so as I close the video, what is that one interesting fact that you noticed about Pastor Chris? Maybe it might not be in a ministry, just his personality or something that you saw that it was interesting.
Yeah, what I saw interesting about Pastor Chris is the humility of Pastor Chris, and how he has achieved great things. Like his life itself is a testimony for me. Like his life, when I check his life, I check that Pastor Chris, if he has achieved great things in the world, meaning everybody can achieve it. But while he has achieved them, he's still humble. Do you know that Pastor Benny, when he met him, or I believe it was 2016, when he met him, after he met him, he made a video. Just like me sitting here with you. He made a video and he said to the world, he said he has never seen such a humble man who have achieved such great things.
The man, I have never seen such humility. I'm sorry, I've been with a lot of great people. I've been with the best and the greatest in my lifetime. 44 years of ministry. The humility of that man moved me to tears.
So what I feel like is so unique about Pastor Chris is the impact that they've made, but he still remains humble despite what he has achieved.
So, Pastor Prince, have you seen Pastor Chris face to face?
So I've seen Pastor Chris, I believe, twice. Ne? The first time I was very young, he came to this Coca-Cola Dome in Joburg. Ne? So he went there, I went with my parents. It was a 3 days or 4 days function. I remember the first day we couldn't enter. The second day we couldn't enter. I was outside. If you can check Pastor Chris' video, there's a time where he's calling a certain lady saying, "Mama, come, 10 years. This lady was in a wheelchair. I was there when that lady got healed that day. I was there, literal, that video. I was there when Pastor Chris, when that lady got healed.
Whose wheelchair is that?
It's for her. For 10 years she's been using
10
this.
years.
For 10 years she's been using this.
Mama, come! 10 years! Come!
Because the lady was outside in the overflow. We were with that lady. And a funny thing happened. Then the lady lied to the securities that she wants to go to the toilet. She lied. She said she wants to go to the toilet. She's pressed. She was in a wheelchair. So when she lied, she said she wants to go to the toilet. Then the securities didn't allow people inside. So the lady, okay, they allowed her inside. We were watching on the screen. Guess what? While the lady, we felt like she's in the toilet, we heard Pastor Chris calling the lady, "Mama, come." And the lady was healed. She was not using a wheelchair anymore. So that's the first time. And the second time, just to cut a long story short, I met him in 2018. At this time, I saw him I saw Pastor Chris here, like he was just close to me. Like this time, not on TV, not on screen. Pastor Chris was just maybe less than a meter away from me. I was here and Pastor Chris was here. And he prayed for us. And he released the anointing that day. Because he said, all South African pastors must come in front and I'm going to release the anointing. And that day, me meeting Pastor Chris face to face, then I received the anointing from Pastor Chris.
Yeah, that's one thing for sure about Pastor Chris. So, viewers, subscribe to our channel to keep the YouTube algorithm working. So, we'll see you on another video. Thank you for watching.